Hello everyone, I'm back. I feel like I haven't done YouTube in ages, even though I did a YouTube video around nearly 2 weeks ago. So actually wasn't that long ago. My face looks like a glazed donut because I had a sheet mask on. I put moisturizer on then over it, and before I ever put the sheet mask on, I cleansed and exfoliated. And if any of you know anything about skincare, you should know by the end of skincare, you should look like a glazed donut, especially in your evening skincare routine. Sorry, that's just the beauty therapist side of me coming out. But anyway, um, so much serum on my face now. But anyway, the video today is talking about how do I deal with art block. So, um, this is how I deal with art block. I literally just don't do art. Yeah, that's what I do. I just take a break. Like, I just step away and breathe, and I don't do art for a while. Not of like a few months, but yeah, usually just, I don't know, a week or two, or maybe even a few weeks. But that's all I do to deal with art block, and it helps me and it works. uh I know other artists that say they do other things as well that helps them, because some of them, they want to get rid of art block. This is how I actually deal with art block. I don't kind of try to, how do I say, like when I get art block, I don't try to fight it, because I've done that in the past. It doesn't go down well. It doesn't work anyway, for me. So, well, then again, when I have tried in the past to fight art block or try to lift art block, my ways have been, I keep drawing and the drawing doesn't come out well, or I'm not in the mood to draw because of art block, and then it just doesn't go well for me. So that's why I just take a step back, breathe. You know, that's kind of, I think, the creative side of me saying you need a break, you know, to just chill. That means my creative battery is, you know, needing to be recharged and needs a break, instead of me trying to push it and push it and push it. So yeah, that's what I do. But I've heard of other artists who have tried to lift art block, and they've done things like, I know one artist, her art's very nature inspired. So what she does is, when she's going through art block, to kind of lift it, she goes out in nature. She goes on nature walks with her partner and her dog, and that's what she does to deal with it. Which is nice and very therapeutic, I'm sure, and good for your mental health as well, to get outside, be around nature, go for a walk. So yeah, that's what she does. I've heard of other artists that do other things as well, like just meditation, listening to music they like, just little things like that. Doing things like me, where they literally just take a break from art altogether, or even do something else that they enjoy, whether it's baking, cooking, or just doing literally nothing, just chilling, going for a nap, or even, because that's productive as well. You need that. You need time as well to just do nothing. Not even just from art, but from life in general. You need time to just chill. You don't always have to be productive 24/7 and creative 24/7, because that's just not realistic, because we're not robots. And yeah, that's literally my way of dealing with art block. Because what I always say is, you cannot force the creative process. You need to just let it flow. Because if you try to force creativity out of yourself when you're not in the form, or even worse, when you're going through art block, then it's just going to be a disaster, and you actually end up more frustrated. Like, from my experience, yeah, you definitely end up even more frustrated. So yeah, that's my best advice from me, like from what I've experienced when it comes to dealing with that creative block kicking in. But it might help you as an artist to do in a different way, like especially when, say for example, like when I had my first ever exhibition that came up in February, I remember a few months before that even getting art block. And art block can happen to some artists more than others. And yeah, that's a panic when you have an exhibition coming up, or you have an art festival coming up that you're going to be selling your art at, or stuff like that, or you're going to be showcasing your art at. That's where it gets stressful, because you're like, okay, I don't have time to have art block. I can't afford to have art block right now, because I have to get art done. So how I dealt with that is I still took a break. Even though the time was running out, I still took a break. I think it was just necessary for me. That's how I deal with it. Um, but again, with my first exhibition, I only had 18 artworks out in the exhibition, which actually filled it up nicely. But I could have even had more at it if I had done more first. But again, throughout the year, if I experience art block, I just need to know when to stop and give myself that time to just breathe and stop creating, because then when you come back after giving yourself a creative break from art, with me anyway, I come back even better and I produce some of the best art I've ever made from giving myself that well needed break, you know. So I think it's the pressure of social media definitely brings on art block as well, because you're like, okay, I'm trying to grow an art page here. I have to be posting at least a few times a week, if not at least once a week. Same with like TikTok, Twitter, you're posting stuff on Etsy or Redbubble or whatever it is. It's stressful. You have to be, posting constantly, and that's unhealthy, and that brings on major art block and frustration, and it's just horrible. So as well, I have actually told myself as well, look, you have to put your mental health first. And if there's ever a time where, look, I just haven't been bothered to draw, like in the last few days, like my art page can wait. Obviously, I know you have an audience on your art page, and to keep that audience, you do have to be, posting. But you do have to put yourself first. So if it means you haven't posted in a week or two, not a big deal. You know, plenty of artists and loads of like different types of art, not just artists that are painting, drawing, or doing sculpting. I mean, music artists, makeup artists, loads of different types of artists have stepped away from social media and took a break for months or nearly even a year or two to go off, give themselves a break, and also get back into creating some amazing creative stuff to bring back when they do come back. We all know artists that have done that. Like Ed Sheeran, for example, has done that. He's gone, taken a break. Lewis Capaldi's done that. Is it Capaldi or Capaldi? I'm probably pronouncing it wrong, but anyway, you know who I'm talking about. He's done that as well, where he's needed to take mental health break for himself, and not even just mental health. Some people, they're just like, they need to go away for a year or a few months to take that time to produce new stuff, and then they come out with way better stuff, rather than trying to have a new song out every single month. Or same with an artist that's painting or drawing, trying to have an amazing artwork out every single week on Instagram. That's not possible. It's so stressful. Like that's why I never join in on the way people do the Inktober and stuff like that. I think it's a nice idea to do, but it wouldn't be for me because my art style and stuff is just so intricate that it would take me too long to do, and I'd only end up disappointed and frustrated with myself, because I'd be like, oh, I need to post, a spooky Halloweeny drawing every single day for the whole month of October, because that's what Inktober is, and I'd be like, no, not doing that. That would just be too much for me. Suppose, yeah, if you tell yourself, oh well, it's only meant to be a small drawing anyway, it doesn't have to be anything that's taking you months, because that's just not possible if it's Inktober. But yeah, so I don't really take part in those kind of things. But other artists love it, and it's a good way to kind of motivate you to get drawing more. But sometimes it can do the opposite to people as well. That's why you have to kind of know what kind of an artist are you. Are you the type of artist that it helps you to kind of go with those kind of trends like the Inktober or little things like that, or the draw this in your style, those kind of games that they do on Instagram with artists. Some people love that. Wouldn't be my thing. I have no interest in trying to do someone else's art in my style. Again, I just, not my thing. But it's lovely to see other artists do it, and it's lovely to see on Instagram. It's really cool. It's like, oh, you're seeing another kind of a twist to something, which is really, really nice. But nah, not my thing, and I don't think it ever will be. But those things as well can help artists too. Or like I was telling you about an artist I know that goes off into nature and stuff. Say if a beach, like you do a lot of beach themed art, or you love doing, wave paintings of waves and lighthouses, then maybe taking a nice day trip to a beach would help you to kind of lift your art block, or not even lift your art block, but even just give you a bit of inspiration or a bit of ideas to take away, and to get some fresh air, of course. That would help, I think, for your next art project. So even if you still have art block, but you're after going to the beach, you're taking in, the sea, the waves, just even the rocks, the seaweed down to the sand, everything at the beach. That just helps a bit, I think, with inspiration. And I think that's the thing, you see, because if people aren't inspired, they're not going to be motivated to make art. Um, but yeah, and even if you don't go drawing that evening or painting that evening after being at the beach, who cares? It might motivate you to paint an absolutely amazing, canvas painting of a huge wave with a lighthouse in the background a month later. So it's worth that break, you know, and not letting yourself force yourself out of art block, because then you end up actually creating a lot better when you get past that kind of stage of an art block. I've had other artists say to me, actually two recently, said kind of the same thing basically. One of them said they haven't drawn in like a year and they find it really hard to get back in it. And another person, yeah, no, they basically said the exact same thing, that they haven't done it in like a year and it's literally just starting back in it. So yeah, sometimes that can be daunting if you haven't done it in so long. I think people are worried they'll be so bad at it or something, when that's not the case at all. Um, Actually, that's another thing I want to mention, is what benefits me when I give myself a break from art is I come back, as I said, not only better and with better ideas, and I end up producing the best art I've ever produced, but I think at first I will say this is the negative side of it, but the realistic side, I've noticed sometimes I can be a bit rusty if I have given myself a break and I haven't done it in a while. But I know that about myself as an artist now, so now I'm like, it's okay, this happens to me, and then after that I'm bang on top of things again, you know? But yeah, I think that's all. This is a kind of a short enough video. I think I'll leave it at that because I don't think there's anything else I have to say. The last thing I'll say before I go is that what works for me when it comes to dealing with art block, or how to kind of not beat yourself up over art block, is basically just telling yourself, look, you're human, you're not a robot, you need a break from it, and creative blocks happen to every kind of artist. I mean, writer's block is another thing. There's so many types of block that can happen to people, and it's just, I think, your mind and your body's way of telling you need to step back, take a break. And if you are under pressure because as I said, you have to get like work done for an exhibition or an art festival, then maybe again still take a mini break, maybe not as long a break, because if you're stuck for time and you have to have a certain amount of artworks done, then try to take a mini break, try to find some inspiration in, again, nature or whatever it is that your art is kind of most inspired by, or even just look up images online. Like, I love Halloweeny stuff. If I look an image up online, a load of pumpkins carved comes up, I'm immediately like, oh, dopamine hit, because I love Halloween, love pumpkins, all that stuff. And obviously this isn't professional advice from a psychologist or anything like that. This is literally art block we're talking about. We're not kind of talking about dealing with, say, anxiety, depression. This is literally just if you're finding it hard to get back into art, or if you're finding it hard to get back into the creative zone, and also I would say, like, I personally don't really take on many commissions. I don't really like commissions either. Like, I'll do them if I'm getting paid well enough, and if I'm kind of like, oh yeah, I think I'd like drawing that. But some artists might have to take on commissions if that's their main kind of income is art. But my main income isn't art. My art's actually on kind of a side hustle, really. For now, I am trying to kind of do more with it and kind of make more of an income to it. But again, that's all coming together in time. It's coming together nicely, and again, in time, it'll come together more. But yeah, you just have to kind of enjoy the creative process of it, enjoy watching your art build up and making money from it. And even if you're not making money from it, it doesn't matter. That does not mean you're not an artist anymore. And even if you haven't created art in months or even a few years, you're still an artist by heart. That doesn't suddenly make you, oh, I'm not an artist anymore. You still are. Like, I'm a qualified beauty therapist, and even if I don't work in a spa or a salon for 10 years, I'm still a beauty therapist. that's not taken away from me. What else was I going to say? There was something else. Let's see, I should have wrote this down before I started this video because I get distracted and my mind goes elsewhere and then I forget what I'm going to say, and that sucks. Oh yeah, now I remember. So what I don't like doing is I don't like taking on our commissions for several reasons, but one of them I would say that relates well to this video is because usually with our commissions you could be on a time limit. Like, you could be, you have to get this commission done within a month. So if you're an artist that tends to get art block a lot, I wouldn't take on commissions, to be honest, unless you're financially stuck and you need to. But that's what I don't like about commissions. You could have to have them done by a certain time. Not only usually, and I'm lucky, any commissions I've gotten, usually I'm kind of given a lot of time to do them, to be fair. I've been lucky like that where I haven't ever gotten a commission where I've been told, oh, would you be able to have this done in 2 weeks for this person's birthday? With me, it's more I usually get given months to have it done, or weeks. But yeah, I would just say to people, don't take on these commissions that have very short, that you've such a short time frame to get them done. And same with, as I said, Inktober, or trying to, do this in your style, or any other kind of arty games that are on Instagram. Don't do it just to keep up with the trend, or even like with art commissions. If you already have a full-time job but you want to start making more with your art, and you want to take on commissions, but if you're financially fine but you're just doing that again because you want to do more art, and of course you want to make money off it, that's okay. But if you're taking it on and it's stressing you out because you're like, oh, I have to have this done by a certain time frame, I just wouldn't take it on. Honestly, your mental health is way more important than taking on some commission that you're getting a few extra, bit of extra money from, But yeah, that's it. So this video ended up going on for longer than expected, but I'll leave it at that, and I'll talk to you in my next video. Salon.